So I was pretty much rooting for the unicorn to just destroy everybody in this movie. 90% of the people were so unlikable. So, Death of a Unicorn, this comes out in Australian cinemas on the 10th of April. So, basically, this is a new horror comedy from A24. A24 is very much like Stephen King adaptations or Blumhouse horror movies for me. They're very hit and miss, very divisive. But this one, look, I'll say that this one is more middle ground. It's a rare one that I will say is worth seeing, but I wouldn't necessarily see it in the cinema unless you're really excited for something in this movie. If you really like unicorns or some actor in this, go see it. But look, otherwise, I would say it's probably worth seeing at home, but on streaming. So basically, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega play this father and daughter who hit a unicorn with their car, and his boss tries to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties, its ability to heal people from pretty much anything, from cancer to pimples to snotty noses. It heals everything in this movie, and as you can imagine, there's horrific results. So this is a unique spin on an age-old tale of corporate greed, and I feel like it's one of my favorite tropes, not done as well as it could have been, but still I do love the science gone wrong trope. We see it in Jurassic Park, Splice, a movie I'm still having nightmares about.
If I may, I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility for it. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they didn't stop to think if they should.
So talking about Jurassic Park 3's Tia Leone is in this. She plays the rich woman. And I've got to say, the Velociraptor scene in, I want to say Jurassic Park 3, but I'm not 100% sure, it might be 2, where there's several of them pulling someone apart. The unicorns do this as well in this movie, and I feel like, I don't know if it's, you know, copying it or trying to pay homage, because obviously it's doing the mad scientist trope, so maybe whoever created this is a fan of the Jurassic Park movies. But yeah, when I saw that unicorn attack scene, that was the first thing that I thought of. And I will say, some of the unicorn scenes in this are pretty fun. I feel like there's moments they could have really lent more into the tension and just before the attack sort of moments, built up the suspense a little bit more. They could have actually made this genuinely scary at times if they had tried. So Anthony Carrigan is in this as the butler, and it's weird to see him as the butler, and he's all dressed in black, and it sort of reminds me of his character in Gotham, which I love, Victor Zsasz. He's like the hitman on that show, and I keep waiting for him to do something really violent in this movie, and instead he's like making the family omelets, and it's just a little bit jarring to me as a fan of Gotham to see that. But anyway, his character was genuinely the best part of this movie for me. His parts were the only comedic parts that really landed. The rest of the humor didn't really work. And I will admit his accent didn't really work for me either, but still it didn't take away from anything. And I wish he was in a larger role. So like I said, Paul Rudd plays the father, and look, there's nothing bad about his performance, but there's nothing particularly good either. He's adequate. Look, I know Paul Rudd is a good actor, don't get me wrong, but I feel like he really shines in those comedic roles. I just see him as one of those actors like James Franco and Seth Rogen, where I see them in movies where they're not being funny and I'm like, no, this isn't working for me. I can't wait to see him later on this year in that new movie, Anaconda, which is another comedy horror creature feature type of movie that I'm really excited for. So Will Poultry plays the stereotypical rich spoiled brat, and I've got to admit, one of the main problems I had with this movie is how stereotypical all of the characters felt, from the annoying teenager who obviously doesn't want to be there, the oblivious dad who sees something happening and still can't believe it even though he has plenty of evidence. He's like that stereotypical horror movie husband, father who can see everything happening but he doesn't believe it until the ghost slash demon slash alien is about to kill him and his family. Anyway, mini rant over. So that's just a pet peeve of mine, is the oblivious horror husband. The rich spoiled family who just want to take advantage of everybody. It all just feels very one note, one dimensional. And yes, I get it's meant to be satire, but still it feels like you could give them a little more depth to their characters, round it out a little bit more. If we had some more fleshed out characters, I feel like I could connect to them more. But here it almost feels like the head of the family, the man, should have been growing a mustache so he could twirl it around his finger and laugh menacingly. Like, honestly, it just felt like he was a cartoon character at times. And Will Poulter, yeah, he's a good actor, but I'll always see is that kid from the Narnia movie. So Jenna Ortega plays something new and fresh, a moody teenager, this time with a nose ring and an art degree that helps save the day. And it's like a character was making discoveries about unicorns, and during that exposition she randomly makes comments about misogyny and church corruption, and it just felt so shoehorned in, and they were very offhanded remarks. There was only like one or two of them in the whole movie, yes, but it just felt like her character, as well as the others, was such a stereotype. The movie dragged a bit in the second act. Honestly, I would give this a 6 out of 10. I'd say see it on streaming if you don't have anything better to watch. Let me know if you've seen it, what you thought of it down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, all of that YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.